Okay, everybody, it is me, the Cry Dog, reaching out to you to put together our first adventure. The adventure for me is making this video for you all to go over some of the features on the Fantasy Ground software that I recently purchased. Now, of course, this is an introductory video, so much of what I'm going to talk about, I'm really just putting it together on the fly. But I wanted you to see what I was able to do, some of the things I can do pretty easily, and I can show you some of the functions. I would be able to show you functions on what you would see if you were a player. And these videos will continue to come, and then when we game sometime in September using this platform, we will probably have it down. So if you don't like the video, you can tell me to go screw, and I won't send them to you individually any longer. For those of you who enjoy it, that's great. I know I'm an asshole just for sending it, so thank you. Anyway, here we go. So what you're seeing in front of you is the main opening screen when you log into Fantasy Grounds. And within the screen you see load campaign, create new campaign, join game, etc. You as players are of course going to use the join game button. Okay. I myself, since I'm the one that's creating and making the campaign, I'm going to use load, and I'm going to go to the DCC2. And as you can see within this window, there's a bunch of different campaigns that I've created. I have my username as GM. Over here I have my IP address information, and then how to generate codes for you guys to join into the games that I create. Okay, so I'm going to go to that one I had mentioned, DCC2, and it's going to log us right in. Now you'll see on this particular iteration, this video, you'll see some of the things that I've made, and then what I'll do is I'll put together some other content. You can see how it's done quickly and some general interface use, and it's very simple. So yeah, here's the general interface, and right now I'll just I'm going to go through and do some general setup. This is campaign setup, and this appears every time you run the game. We're going to do user manual. We don't have to really worry about that. It'll take us through to a URL. So it is helpful, but not necessary. Second, the wiki guides, and then the forums. All of them are great, and I've utilized them all already. I'm going to hit next through this. The modules. Modules doesn't mean modules like a D&D or a Pathfinder or any other kind of module. A module means that and any other content that you would create yourself. Sort of a modular way for you to add content to the Fantasy Grounds campaign you're running. Within this, you can see all the different things that I'm able to utilize as a DM in running the game, put all this stuff. A lot of this stuff came with the product already, so that's great, but that's all set. And next after that, we have the tokens. Oops. The tokens are the things everybody knows, the little chits. But in some of the images in this particular game, I was able to get three-dimensional ones, and you'll see those. And then finish. Okay, so just to go over so you guys can see what I'm going to do here, this area is where the dice get rolled. There's the dice down here, you can see them. Okay, if I take one of the die and I roll it up in here, I can grab it, and I can throw it, and that's how the die is registered. You'll see it says Judge 1. If I click that same die and right-click, it'll make a multiple of that amount of die. Okay? You can see this goes infinitely. So you can roll all that, and it'll come up with a number within the chat box, 119. If you don't like the color of the die and you think the uniform, you want to change that, there's some functions up here that I can show you how to use later that'll do that. Secondly, down here in the lower left-hand corner, you have a word modifier 0, and then you have these 1D plus 1D1 plus D2, so on and so forth. These are how the DM, a guy like me, can do a quick a modification of the die roll on the fly. It's just a time-saving tool. Okay, that's why it's down near the dice. Okay, over here on the right-hand side, you're going to see the dice tower, and that's of course for rolling dice. Right now. Oops. On the right hand side, you're going to see, as players, you're going to see a bunch of these things. This is set up right now for me to make a player character. So I have PCs, I click on that, there's a player 1, level 0, okay? And your characters, when they're made, will be within the PC area, this area right here. Whenever you have an issue or something like that, you have a problem, you can go to the question mark and it'll give you the wiki on that specific page, that specific function. The wiki will be directly on character selection in this case. Down here you're going to see 3 different buttons. The red button with the dash, that's the edit list. If you click on that, it'll show you how you can delete or do different things. And you know, it's hover. You hover over each item. If you want to make a new item, add a new character, boom, you can do that. And you have 2 here. And then finally, if you want to import characters that you have already made from another system, you can do that here as well. So that's character selection. And you guys will probably use that one time. You just pick your character thing to be in. The second thing, and again this is for making a character, is backgrounds. Now within Dungeon Crawl Classics you can see the backgrounds are equivalent of occupations. And if I were to take this whole list, these are all the occupations. Now if I take that PC that I had just made, and you'll see here, I have name, okay, and within this character sheet, it's very simple. You'll see the stats on the left, AC into initiative, and the speed right in the center, with your saves on the right hand side, and then within here you have your hit points, all that, your lucky roll, alignment, simple, very easy to look at. And we have the occupation. Well, what did I start out my life as? How about I was a blacksmith? Okay, I'm going to just drag and drop the blacksmith right into that slot. Boom. There that is. Okay. Now I have to name the guy. I'll have to manually type that. Flanders. Okay, that's his name. Just came into my head. And for the alignment, I'm going to put chaotic. Okay. And then, since he's level 0, I'm just going to leave him like that. To populate his attributes over here, it's 3d6 right down the line. So I bring this over, right click twice, I got 3d6, drop it in there, I see the number, it's a 12, boom, 1, 2 with the keyboard, complete, okay? Do it all over again, 1, 2, that's a 9, drop that in there as a 9, third, 1, 2, drop that in there, it's not so good, that's a 7, so he's strong. Same thing again, 1, 2, and not bad, that's a 10, so we can leave that be. Another 7, he's not very smart, it's too bad. And on a final time, let's see if he gets, oh, that's not right, don't want to use that. Now you'll notice that it did, oh, he got a 4. He got a 4 in that last roll. Oh, he's not very lucky. Okay, you'll notice that the roll did not register within the chat window over here when I rolled it outside of the chat window. It didn't register in this line. And just so you know, a couple of things to go over quickly. Anything that I use, any window, I just right click on it just like in regular Microsoft. If you right click on this, you can reset, change these values here. You can unlock the position of the bar, and by doing that, move it around. All sorts of things. For example, I can do that. I have this set down here. You can bring it up here if you want, and have it that way, and that way you can see everything. But we're not gonna do that for a bunch of different reasons, which I'll show you in a second. So anyway, this is how you make a character. Drag and drop. You have your skills right here. Within skills, I just got on here. As a beekeeper, I get a couple of skills. Okay, so I'm gonna go and let you guys tinker with this, but keep in mind, It's all drag and drop. Okay? You can maximize these windows. There it is. There's the window. There's Flanders. That's one thing that's great about this. So anyway, that's the character, or that's the PC sheet right there. Okay? Also, when you right-click on these, it's going to say delete, create, clear owner, or take ownership. Now, when you are actually in a game, you will find these characters within this character selection screen. You'll click on the one that you want to play, and you'll use the take ownership command. And that way, you'll be maintaining ownership of this particular character over anybody else. Okay? So anyway, there's that. Backgrounds, we saw that already. That's how to make a character. Items. So we talked about the classes. I'm going to bring out those PCs again, and I'm going to bring out Flanders, and here he is. Okay? I'll get rid of this window so you can just see the player. Okay? And I'm going to take and give him some arrows. Okay? And right here, he's got arrows. He needs some arrows. Boom. So he's got some arrows. What's his unidentified item? So maybe I want to remove that. Oh, ammunition. Arrows. 20 arrows. And then I'm going to pick... I'm going to pick a backpack. And a battle axe. And a blowgun with some chainmail. Okay, now I have these things they're on me now, and you can notice my encumbrance down here has been looked at because I got all this stuff. I'm carrying it around. I can click on these different things and you can see what they do, what the die is here, like Frumble die, 12D. This is what the armor is. This is how much it costs, what kind it is. Right here it has the item has not been identified. They're all going to say things like that. And you'll notice little things like that all over the place. Okay, that's how you add gear. Now, if you want to use the weapon, like this one, okay, you're going to equip it. And the way you do that, give me a quick second. Well, either or. You guys will be able to go through this and play around with it, and there'll be many more videos to come. Oh yeah, here it is right here. So this is how you're going to roll for these things here. Alright? These are the attack actions. I could use my blowgun, or I could use my battle axe. Sorry. So there's that. Now, going to skills. Well, this is again very similar to what we were just talking about. It's all drag and drop. I go within my skill tab here, okay, and these are some of the skills that you get. So pick lock, boom, drop that in, and I'll take move silently, and some underground skills, okay, and then spells. Well, he doesn't have any spells, but tokens, he's going to want one of those. So let's see. If I pick the player, Flanders here, and he's got some sneakiness, stuff like that, well, what I've done is I've gone PC, backgrounds, classes, items, skills, spells, tokens, and then finally library. But tokens is what we're talking about. Within the tokens thing, you're going to see all these different icons of different people you can be. Within the tokens here, you can drag and drop these anywhere you want. So for example, I'm going to take the female, I'm going to take this guy here, the Death Dual Sword Warrior, or maybe somebody with a battle axe. He's carrying a battle axe. So let's see. I'm going to zoom in on this here. See how I'm right-clicking and making it bigger? Most of these things have right-click functions. So yeah, here is... I need a good battle axe. So let's see, who do we have that has a battle axe? There's pretty cool. So let's go with this guy, the Merc Pit Fighter. Now what I'm going to do, as you can see, is I'm going to just grab him with my pointer, I'm going to bring them up and I'm going to drop them right into that spot. And within that little icon there, you'll see that this icon represents Flanders. Okay? Now also, over here in this square, that's where a portrait will go. And when you want to look at that, what you can do is you go to the library, which is down here, and you can go to Images and Maps. And you can go to Folder, and you can drag any image you want from the world right out of Windows, right onto that particular spot. Now, I'll build all these characters for you guys so you don't have to do that, but I just wanted you to see the general interface. Now, when you actually are playing the game, that's something I haven't gone over yet. Okay? Now, just to show you some of the way the system works, and some of the stuff that I've seen in the system, I'm going to show you a little bit about it, and show you some of the things that I've been able to see when I've been playing around with it. Okay? So I'm going to show you, this is a Dungeon Master tab, it's called Story, and I'm going to quickly go over how this thing will organize all of the stuff. So within this, there's a bunch of different things. I'm going to pick this particular adventure here. It's a cheap, free adventure, Yggdrasil's Mage, just to give you an idea of to how this works. Okay? So within it, I have the introduction, the background, the actual maze itself, interesting things, the player start, all these things. Now the areas of the map, if I click on this, it'll show me where they are. But if I actually grab the icon and drag it over here, it'll do it too. If you want to have an actual map, then what you can do is you can go to the Maps button right over here, see the group, you'll see the different adventures. We want this one, Yggdrasil's Maze. Okay? Here are all the maps and images. So to give you an example, here's an image of one of the maps. Now it's right on here. Now this is important for you guys to see. I'm going to change this around. Again, one thing, you'll notice this window's huge. Okay? You can manually make it smaller. If you can see up here in the right hand corner, you can just grab it, but it's a little finicky, right? But the other thing you can do, like anything else, is you can right click, hit resize. You're going to want it to be a smaller size. Now you have the map, and you can spread it out a little more easily. Now if you can't see the map, you notice when I grab on it too, it moves it around. What you do is you go down to this gold thing down here, and you slide it around, and it'll show you. Now this way, I can zoom in on any part of it, okay? And if I want to take one of my PCs, like Flanders here, and I want to put them on the map, well, it's not doing it on this map, but that's okay. What we're going to do is we'll just go to tokens. Those types of tokens are specific to a specific type of map. So instead of that particular token, we're going to put on this token here. And when we put that on there, we're going to take this and we're going to drop it on. Well, hold on, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Now I can also do this. Okay. And you can see the whole map here now, all around. Okay. The way the game is actually laid out is these little pins, you can hover over them. And when you click on one, it gives you a little bit of information. That's how the game works. Or how the system works. It's not really a game, I guess. Then over here, same here, you know. Little box text, what to say, the specifics of the encounter, how it all works out, what might be found. And then within it, you can see the treasure here is directly outlined, and I can take that treasure. I'm going to remove these other windows quickly. But I can take this treasure, this parcel here, and I can drop it right into the chat. And when I do, everybody will find this particular item, which is 54 silver pieces and 34 copper pieces. Right? Or this one. Drop it right in. This one is a foul-smelling tonic. And the foul-smelling tonic Hollow gourd containing phyllosmitic tonic. Heals 2 dice of damage if consumed. Okay? So very simple, and we're going to do a bunch more of these in the future. But I wanted all of you to know that this is the first YouTube video I've ever made, and I thought it would be terrific. I know the lighting probably stinks. The video and audio is probably not that good, but either way, if you watch it, it would be great. I'll babble on in another video, and awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.